Alright guys, it's Monday, September 27th, 2021. Today marks day 24 of the 30-day thrash on the 55 four-door. So here in a minute I'm going to try to go back to Tractor Supply and see if they happen to get media in, which I doubt it, but it's across the street, so I might as well give it a try. Can't really finish blasting the door jambs and stuff until I get another bag of media. So right now, first thing basically, I'm going to get this stuff ready to prep. I've got to strip that all down clean because it's been painted and it's flaking off. But anyway, this stuff is part of the dash components, so I want to get, all that stuff done, finished and done, because I will be painting the dash and the firewall, so anything that, attaches to those items need to be ready. Now, I've got the original 210 steering wheel here, and it does have some cracks in it. So I'm going to go through here and, bevel these cracks out a little bit. And then what I've always used to use in the past was marine epoxy, and I don't even know if it's any good anymore. It's so old in my cabinet, I'll have to dig it out and look. But anyway, hopefully it's still good because I've repaired steering wheels with it before. But I don't know that there is anything on the market that will last forever. Like, every time I've ever done one over time, they just end up re-cracking. It's a lot lighter of a crack than like in here. They're pretty wide looking, but the thing for me on steering wheels, they're pretty much a plastic. So, if you repair it with anything other than like a plastic component, when the sun's on it and it gets hot, the different temperatures of each component, like if you used, JB Weld or something in there, it just seems like the JB Weld would, the temperature wouldn't be the same as it would get the plastic. Like, it would probably get hotter, I'm assuming. I don't know, I'm just, just saying. But anyway, I used to always use marine epoxy. But anyway, so I'm going to take off the turn signal canceller thing here, and I'm going to try to get the horn contact thing out of there. It's probably good and stuck. And then I'm going to bust that column apart into pieces and get everything tagged and bagged, basically. But anyway, when I start doing body work on the firewall and dash and stuff, I'm going to do this at the same time. But I hate repairing steering wheels, man. It's such tedious work for something that just ends up re-cracking later. But yeah, it's got to be done. So here we go. first things first, make sure you use the same size diameter punch as your roll pin so you can knock it in there and get it stuck. Dirty. See, that tape's been on there a while. It was all bent and tweaked right there. I'll have to straighten that out a little bit. Sometimes these are egg-shaped from being maybe thrown on the floor or something, so always check it to make sure it's nice and round, which you can set that steering column collar on there and gives you a good idea if it's straight or not. So these are all good parts. This is actually the original steering turn signal collar from the my hardtop, because my car was coral and gray. So anyway, this is broken down. These are 2 Phillips screws from the turn signal switch that was screwed into the back of that, so I'm going to put them in here. And all of this stuff will go in this big bag. All right, I'm making one heck of a mess out here, but it's got to be done. So anyway, that's it takes a long time for me to blast stuff because, you know, the compressor just stays running. So I have to eventually stop and let the compressor catch up and then cool down. I do have a fan blowing on it right now, so I'm giving it about 20 to 30 minutes in between rounds to cool down. So far this morning, couple hours in, And I've got the jamb blasted up and all around down the back here, and the B-pillar all the way up. So I've still got all of this around and under and part of that. So I mean, it's time consuming, but you know, it's going to be such a clean job, you know, that there's not going to be a lot of, I don't have to sand anything, and I don't have to go in and feather edge stuff. It's just primer, and then I can sand it and just shoot it, you know what I mean? Shoot paint on it. So it's kind of nice. Anyway, so I'm getting other parts and pieces out that require a little bit of blasting, you know, and other stuff that needs preparation for, you know, after I go to paint the dash and the firewall and all that, I want to be able to paint all my interior garnish moldings and all that. So I've got quite a few things out ready for those to get blasted. So the steering wheel, it's got original paint. It's never been painted before, so I'm not going to worry about blasting it. But I did blast all this to bare metal because I mentioned this in one of my videos before, but if you're running a factory steering wheel and you can't get your horn to work, if that is real rusty or it's been painted, that area in the center, your horn will not work because your little domed cup that goes on there has to ground out to that. So this needs to be clean metal. So I went ahead and just kind of blasted it, and I also blasted the backside. But I've got some other parts in here. I mean, it's pretty full now of stuff I'm going to blast. There will be more, but anyway, it's just oddball stuff in there. It's kind of cool. One of my earlier four-doors that I fixed up back in the mid-1990s, this is actually the garnish moldings out of that car. So I'm, you know, they've been in my shed. So I'm going to go ahead and clean these up and use them. I actually went through all my garnish moldings several months ago because I have tons of garnish moldings for a four-door. There's probably, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 sets of those A-pillar trims for a sedan. And anyway, I went through and found the ones that look the best, that aren't pitted rust, that I'm going to have to put putty on, or primer heavy and then block. So it was kind of cool that those are out of my old four-door. So a part of that old car is going to be in this car. I think that's kind of neat. For me, it's all about how nice the parts are. So if I have a group of parts, I'm obviously going to find the best piece to put on. But I'm enjoying it. It's you know, it's pretty satisfying to go through here and blast all this to get clean metal. It's really kind of nice. But in order to paint that stuff, there's a lot of prep to go in between, you know what I mean? Anyway, I guess I'll go get my broom and my screen mesh to sift all the stuff back in there. But I put a new bag of media in here. I got new media this morning. I put a new bag in, and it blasts a whole lot better than that old powdered, wasted stuff that I keep sifting over and over. So anyway, I'm gonna get to it. Man, what a surprise. My wife came home for lunch, so we went in and was making lunch, and the dog barked. And anyway, I looked out the window, and there was a vehicle. So by the time I got out the door back around, it already left. But anyway, Christmas came early for me. Check this out. He left the box there. This is Terry. He's the subscriber that come by, and he brought that two-door Post 55 Chevy, the red one. Really badass car. Anyway, he said he had some stuff laying around that he's never going to use, and I could have it if I wanted it. So anyway, I can use almost all this stuff. So thank you very much, Terry. I do appreciate this, man. He said he had an older reproduction Hoodbird, and this is it here. I mean, this thing will clean up pretty nice. I wiped it off a little bit with a wet rag, but you know, it needs to be polished a little bit. But it's that's pretty good shape, man. I'll take that for sure. That is that's awesome. This is the one big thing I was missing, and you know, them things are like $150 or $60 in the catalogs. It's just kind of ridiculous. And then you get on eBay and they want $75 and $85 for used ones that are pitted. But anyway, I've actually got a buddy that needs a headlight ring, so I'm going to give him that one because I've got a pretty nice reproduction set that I got from my cousin. And I definitely needed one turn signal housing, and I've got plenty to choose from, so that's pretty awesome, man. Man, that is awesome. I even got a couple extra 210 caps, because I've got one that's pretty bad. Oh, actually, all mine are pretty rough, but I needed one for sure. And then this deal here, mine was a standard heater car, and I wanted to change it to deluxe, and this is a needed part for a deluxe heater. This goes up in here. Up on this, I have a block-off plate I need to remove, but that goes on there. And I actually had a friend of mine give me one, but it looks like it came out of the river. It's really, really heavy, coarse pitted. After I blasted it, it may have holes in it, so that is awesome. And this one looks like somebody had already blasted it once and it just started servicing, so this one I'm going to use for sure. And one of my cables is frayed that I have for my wiper cable system, so that's awesome. Now I have an extra cable. But man, oh man, how awesome is that? Terry, thank you very much, man. Much appreciated. That is just freaking awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and have dessert, man. I had a sandwich, but it's time for dessert. I'm going to have some chocolate. Boy, I got a smile on my face now, man. All right, guys, it's about 5 p.m. So time to clean up the mess, and it is a big one. Holy smoke, it's a big one. So I got all the jams blasted out. Pretty much everything blasted on the car that I needed to get blasted. We even done the trunk jam down here. Now I gotta clean up all this mess, sweep it all up into a big pile, and then sift it back into this through a screen wire thing I have. I did blast quite a few pieces today. It's just miscellaneous odds and ends I had in the tote. Just pulled each piece out and just started blasting on it. I still got more stuff in the tote that needs blasted, but this is quite a bit of it. These didn't get blasted yet. These 3 clips here for the lower windshield trim, but pieces are pretty nice, really. I'm pretty happy with those. So, anyway, I'm gonna clean up my mess, and that's gonna do it for today. And I gotta go in and take a shower and then make dinner. Yay! Thanks for watching.